Can your mind not accept the existence of a creator?
That 1500 years ago someone was sent something from above doesn't sound believable to me.
There's a book, isn't the claim like that?
Yes.
This book includes things we have just discovered, some scientific information.
So I think you act based on assumptions. Should I start believing? Whether we believe or not, many things won't change. I don't think so. There are too many people who are terrible. I'd rather be like this than that.
Ashhadu an la
Ashhadu an la
ilaha
ilaha
illallah
illallah
wa ashhadu
wa ashhadu
anna
anna
Muhammadan
Muhammadan
Rasulullah.
Rasulullah.
Welcome.
Hello, thanks.
What do you do? What's your job?
I'm a high school student, grade 11. I want to be a chemical engineer.
Chemical engineering.
Yes.
Good. How do you like philosophy?
I don't like it.
Don't you like it? How do you like religion, etc.?
No interest at all.
Don't you believe in a religion or?
Depends on the environment. If I am
What do
to
you mean
believe,
by depends on the environment?
I don't know exactly. I believe when I am to believe. I pretend to believe, but normally I don't believe it. But when it's
I see
necessary,
when
I
it's
believe.
necessary. Can your mind not accept the existence of a creator or decrees, Islamic, I don't know, Christians or Jews?
That 1500 years ago someone was sent something from above? Honestly, I don't believe it.
Let me tell you this. There's a book he brought. Isn't his claim
Yes.
like that? This book contains the following information, things we have just discovered, some scientific information. For example, it says, and we sent down iron. The substance we call iron, enough temperature doesn't exist in this world, neither on Earth nor the sun, to create its raw material. Asteroids hit the Earth and the iron came to the Earth. This information has recently been discovered.
So I think you act based on assumptions.
What kind of an assumption can it be? Can a person truly guess something like
It
that?
seems he did because...
Well, I'll give you a few more examples. If I give you 10 more examples like this, would you say they can all be assumptions?
Well, maybe he was an intelligent guy, but you know,
It has nothing to do with intelligence. If I give you information about the future,
for example,
Romans and Persians fought. Persians defeated the Romans. After that, a verse was sent down in the chapter of Ar-Rum. But they, even after this defeat of theirs, will soon be victorious within a few years. There's even an expression in the verse, defeated on the lowest part of the earth. The place where they fought was below the ground level, approximately 200 meters below. We know that now.
so he speculated. I think he did, because thinking that the Romans would gain strength again is something huge.
Isn't it very difficult? Let me continue. If you want, I'll tell you one more.
Okay.
In a verse, it is stated that Pharaoh's corpse will be hidden off the coast of the Red Sea. A corpse was found, and the corpse was found in prostration as stated in the verse. They picked up the corpse and took it to the museum. The research on the corpse was done by French scientists. They weren't Muslims. They said that the body received some hefty blows and that it remained in the water for a very long time. They saw that there was too much salt in the body. The corpse was hidden.
Should I start believing? It sounded different.
It's not
that's
that
why.
simple. There are many more examples like this. For example, do not they see that the heavens and earth were joined together as one unit of creation before we clothed them asunder? The chapter of Al-Anbiya verse 30. You can also consider this, separation of the earth and the heavens. The Big Bang Theory also mentions it. You know, in verse 88 of the chapter of An-Nabl, the following is stated, you see the mountains and think them firmly fixed, but they shall pass away adrift as the clouds pass away. In 1915, Alfred Wegener said, I wonder if these continents were united before. Why did he say that? Do you know? At the meeting point of the continents, he found the same animals, the same living species, their fossils. He thought, I wonder if these continents were previously united. Did they separate afterwards? He came up with that idea, and he said in 1915, the continents moved and the mountains moved. They made fun of him during his life. 50 years later, it was discovered that tectonic movements move continents between 2.5 to 5 inches a year. Shall I tell you something more interesting? Do you know the name of this movement? It's called continental drift. The word to drift means to be dragged. The term exactly matches the expression in the verse. I can tell you more things. For example, there is this claim in the Quran, you can't bring a book similar to this one. Think about it. Society had literary geniuses at that time. For example, such a verse was sent down and you didn't believe, what would you do? A book similar to it. You would try to bring it, right? Because solving it like that is much easier. What did they do? Instead of doing that, even those literary geniuses took their swords in their hands and risked their property and lives and waged war. This means a book similar to it cannot be brought. The verse continues, the historical events do not have to be true. The things you say do not have to be true. You can mention random events and abstract things. If you can't do it, just bring something similar to one chapter like it. Afterwards, someone tried to write something similar at that time, and even his own friends saw it and laughed at it.
Well, actually, it could be because I've never read the Quran before, nor have I researched this. What sounded absurd to me was this, something coming down from the sky to a person, extraordinary things happening.
Miracles?
Miracles happening, things that seem so extreme to me now. I've never seen or met.
But isn't it more absurd to accept this? That person telling these things based on his own information.
So yes, I
right?
As I've said, since I haven't read the Quran, I didn't know about such verses.
I see.
Things have changed a bit now that I've learned.
Let me tell you a few more things. The parts you call miracles will make sense. Now look, for an event or a work to occur, let me give an example of a car. Knowledge of all necessary scientific information and bringing it together is necessary. Isn't that right? I'll give the example of the car. If we don't know how gasoline works, we can't make cars. Or if we don't know how the steering wheel works, we can't make cars. Or if we don't know how to turn the wheels, we can't make a car. Now, acting upon this, let's take a look around. The atoms in the soil must know all plants because whatever seed you sow in the ground, its tree comes out. Similarly, out of dry branches, tangerines that appeal to my tongue, peeled tangerines come out. Can this tree bark really do that? Or with its weakness and by not being able to do it, does it say there is a big power behind me? For example, shall we look at the honey made by the bee? The bee makes honey. We can gather all the engineers and they can't produce honey similar to it. Now, I look back at the bee. I can't teach it to make an omelet. I can't teach it anything. It can't even talk to me. It needs to breathe. It needs many things. Without pollen, it won't be able to make honey. Without the sun, it won't be able to make honey. Without plants, it won't be able to make honey. Without water, it won't be able to live. It'll die. Such a creature produces honey which all professors cannot make. I mean, behind it, someone who knows this honey, who knows the bee, who knows the sun, who sends them to the same place, to the same universe, must exist. Someone has their own rules. What are those rules? For example, the laws of physics. There is infinite power who limits himself with them. Is it easier for this power to obey these rules? Or is it easier to do things without obeying those rules?
Doing things by obeying them is easier, of course, but
It is actually easy to do things without obeying them. In terms of not limiting himself without being bound by any rules, it is easier to do things, right?
yes.
I'll give an example. Creating tangerines from this is subject to certain rules, like water, like soil, like a tree. But while doing a miracle, he doesn't have to obey any rules because he does whatever he wants. While dividing the moon into two, he doesn't have to obey any rules because he does whatever he wants. While lifting a tree off the ground and taking it somewhere, he doesn't have to obey any rules. He can break his own rules because, as we know, the universe has certain rules. Physics, laws. You say you're going to study chemistry. There are chemistry rules. Is it easier to do things based on these rules or without rules?
Doing things based on rules is definitely easier.
In an environment in which there is complete freedom. Acting upon this, we can say this. Formation of oxygen from water, even the separation of oxygen, is a miracle.
Yes.
It's actually more difficult than a miracle because you act based on a certain rule. As you see, what you call a miracle is not something difficult. I just think that what they told you was wrong because you have reason,
Yes.
you have logic, so you can easily understand them. And as I've said, your heart is not yet rotten, not dead. Your conscience is not lost. To deny them, you don't put forward silly arguments. For example, Adam knows all of this. You make no such claim. A little touch was what you needed.
Whether you believe or not, I don't think a lot of things will change. If you aren't a good person, there are too many terrible people. I'd rather be like this than that, but so...
Okay, but now let me say this. Think of a rich man. This person does horrible things. For example, he spends his money very badly. If you see this man now and say to him, man, I'll spend my money better than this, and then one day when you have money, oh, what a bad thing money is, then spend it nonsensically, would you say so and put it aside, or would you spend better since you know it better?
I'd spend it better, of course.
You looked at those people and saw what they did was wrong. Then do it better. Why don't you do so? Now let's have a look at those who did wrong and learn from them. Let's do the right things.
It makes sense, yes.
What's your name?
Ilgar.
Do you want to believe?
Yes, yes.
Have you believed?
Yes.
There is an introductory sentence to Islam. Do you know it?
No.
Don't you know it?
No.
Do you want to say it? I'll say it and you can repeat it after me.
Okay, I'll say it.
All right?
Yes.
Ashhadu an la
Ashhadu an la
ilaha
ilaha
illallah
illallah
wa ashhadu
wa ashhadu
anna
anna
Muhammadan
Muhammadan
Rasulullah.
Rasulullah.
Okay, that's it. Can I hug you?
Hello brothers and sisters, and thank you for watching the video. If you want to take a look at more of our videos like this, you can check the playlists we created specifically for you on the right, or you can check out our latest videos on the left. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel so that we can reach and benefit more people. See you.